So the first thing, I don't know if you've ever heard, so I'm still getting over a bit of a cough, the Irish saying when someone asks for directions, they say, oh, I won't try and do the Irish accent. It won't work. But listen, mate, if I was wanting to get there, I wouldn't be starting from here. And then people say, but the reality is you've got to start from where you are. Actually, when it comes to planning your future, I think we need to go back beyond today. Because what people don't realise is, look, the fact is you are where you are, and that's perfectly fine. But we need to go back and saying, are there parts about where you are that are limiting? You know, well, I didn't think I did very well at school, Mike. And, oh, why is that then? Well, I didn't do well at school because I was ADHD, or I just couldn't fucking grasp it. I just didn't enjoy it. You know, I had a shit teacher or crap school. All of these things are valid. Okay, so, but you got a great business now. So what's that got to do with where you were when you was a kid? Or, you know, my dad was, you know, I was a bit scared. My dad, in my case, dad was fucking violent. You know, and I didn't want to be at home, and because of that, I never got as close to my mum as I should have or could have, or, you know, whatever it was. These things, and you sort of think, what's that got to do with the business? Spending a little bit of time, going back as far as we can remember to what was upbringing like, you know, what were my early thoughts, things that you kind of still think about from moment to moment. You go into a sales meeting, you're going into a conflict session, whatever it is, are they still there? You know, you're going to meet a load of people. Do you see them as a bit stupid because you went to uni? Or do you feel a bit stupid because they all went to uni? And there's no right or wrong answer, but just talking through it before we then get to, okay, so what's our current state? Where are we today? We understand that some of that might be suboptimal because of stupid things that we heard in the past, you know. So if it's one of my family members saying, you're never going to amount to anything, you're just a fucking big-headed little shit kind of thing, entitled, lazy, all of this. Firstly, is to go back and say, was he qualified to give me those labels? Okay, so if I look back, he had hardly any education, so he wasn't academically qualified. He never amounted to much, so he wasn't like financially qualified. He came from South London crime gang family, the Richardsons, and so his go-to place was violence. Is that the best way to ever get anything? So, and I'm not doing that to criticise him, you know. I've forgiven him, and I've done that, not for him, for me. But once I did it for me, it kind of de-anchored that anchor, if you like. But also, funnily enough, and I didn't expect this, but I started to understand, actually, he sort of had no other way to be. No one was saying to him, you don't have to react like this. You could read some books. You could learn something. I don't fucking read. You could listen to them on Audible, or you know, you don't have to be angry. You don't have to be that person. You don't have to be violent. You know, use your head, use your words, not your fucking fists, kind of thing. But nobody gave that to him, and he grew up in an environment where instinctively, like animals are trained, muscle memory. He got angry. He got frustrated. It turned to violence. So suddenly, from a position of realizing he wasn't qualified to give me those labels, he did, then takes those labels away. Forgiving him for creating those limiting anchors on me means they no longer have any hold on me. But then furthermore, understanding the massively negative effect and limiting effect that people's upbringing can have on them if they don't choose to change. Then you can flip it and say, actually, and the old cliches of, if it doesn't kill you, it'll make you stronger. Actually, it made me stronger in many ways. I am a behavioural profiler, qualified to be, but I always was. I could kind of fucking sense what was going on. I could feel people at a really different level. And it was only in recent years that, as I got more into psychology and behaviour and everything else, that I realised that'll be because we're all behavioural profilers as kids. Now, if you speak to your 2-year-old and you were speaking to him like this and you were looking over here, there's every chance that he'll grab your face and turn you back because he's not listening. He's listening. He's reading you completely. He's looking for tonality, yeah, but he's looking for facial muscles. He's looking for all of your body. We are born as amazing behavioural profilers. Bit by bit, we allow ourselves to be distracted, whether it's phones, and we lose our ability. People who have been through trauma and growing up don't. Why not? Because from a youngest age, that person's aggressive. So if I hear the door go, I'm on hyper alert. If it's him coming in, has he slammed the door? Is that a sign that he might be angry? Is he fucking chucking his bag down? Is he? Can I hear heavy breathing? I mean, hypersensitive to all of these things. When he walks in, you know, what's his voice tone to my mum? What's his voice volume to my mum? Is he clenching his fists? You know, so I'm hyper alert. It's a survival thing, but it meant I never lost that baby-like childish ability to read people. And so I could say, fucking hell, there's no excuse for someone beating a kid up or hitting a kid. But actually, I'm going to fucking take the positive from it. I'm going to let go of the anchors and the labels, and I'm going to realise that makes me fucking good. I can literally read. I mean, I'm taught to read people now as well, but I can read people from their level of eye contact, their voice tonality, their hand positioning, the openness of their legs, the fucking clothes colours they work. I mean, handshake, everything. And that's a real skill to have, which I might not have had, because my mum, she was the complete opposite, loved me unconditionally. Isn't that lovely? Well, not really. I mean, yes, it is, and it was, and I would fucking give anything to get another half a day with her. But it didn't prepare me for life. In fact, as she got a little bit more money, I would say she spoilt my brother and sister more, and they've had loads of fucking problems because of it. Because they never had to try. And, you know, my brother didn't have the same relationship because he was my stepdad's son, kind of thing. It's different. And, well, I think my sister, she was just tough as old fucking boots anyway, and she took it, sort of thing. And she stabbed a guy and got 9 years in prison, but she got diagnosed bipolar when she was in. So there's a medical sort of function behind that element. But my mum, covering up behind me, cleaning up behind me, everything being okay. I fail, I do something naughty. It's okay, son, give me a cuddle, I love you, blah, blah, blah. It meant that I wasn't learning what was right from wrong. I wasn't learning that if you make a mess, you have to tidy it up. I wasn't so either side is not ideal. But they are what they are. We are who we are. We've been on the journey we've been, and we can't undo a minute of that journey, a conversation in that journey. So what we have to learn to do is to embrace the positive, learn from the negative, and use it as the base from which we grow.